This is the perfect project for any crocheter who wants to make a quick but stylish coaster to potentially give as gifts or to decorate their own home. Let's get started. So for the yarn for this project, I am unraveling a previous one, which was a crocheted purse. It was an adorable purse, but it was just not practical for my lifestyle. And instead of just having it hang as room decor, I was like, let me use it for something else. I have linked the yarn that I'm using down below, but it is an amazing yarn. I'm obsessed with it. And because of that, I didn't want it to just become room decor. I wanted to actually use it because it's very sturdy. So I went ahead and started unraveling the purse, and as I was unraveling, I wanted to ball it up so that it didn't get tangled, but as I was doing this, it kind of took forever, so I did as much of it as I could, and then I started unraveling even more. Eventually, I gave up. I do have a lump of yarn. Hopefully, it doesn't get tangled. I love this yarn, but the one thing you have to do with it is make sure you melt the ends or else they will fray. The first step to this project is a magic circle. So what I do is I grab the ends with my fingers and then I wrap it around 2 fingers twice, making sure to make an X underneath. I then stick the crochet hook under one end, pull up the other, and then I slip stitch. It doesn't need to be too big or too small, and it's totally fine if it has a longer end, but with that, let's start the next round. For round 1, we are going to be working into the magic circle, but looping around both the circle and that extra end. To make the single crochet, I just stick my hook through the loop, I grab some yarn, I bring it back over, I yarn over, and then I pull it through the 2 loops. It's really important to be crocheting with very loose loops right now because the tighter it is, the harder it will be to get the next rounds in. Tension is also really important because if you put too much of it in, it will make the piece a lot smaller than what you see in the video. Tension is kind of like a Goldilocks scenario. If it's too loose, it won't have structure, but if it's too tight, it'll be really difficult to work with and a lot smaller. It's something that I have discovered with my projects, and I found I tend to make it a little more tense, but to loosen it up, I just try to pull more yarn as I'm yarning over and making those loops a lot bigger. At the end of the round, we have 5 stitches. I'm then going to pull the extra thread to tighten the magic circle, and with that, we're off to the next round. This is where the magic happens. So normally you would stitch inside that loop and just keep going around. However, to get that cute braided pattern, you actually go in between the stitch. So you can see I'm not going around the loops, but I'm going where they kind of overlap. So the loop is connecting to the other one. I'm just going in between the 2 strands there. For this round, I am doing 2 single crochets in each of the stitches from the previous round, and I am making sure to do them very loose again because I don't want the next round to be a struggle. I ended with 10 total stitches, and you can see here the pattern is starting to form. It's got this star braid look, and it doesn't actually have like the edges of the loops inside of it. For this round, we are going to do 2 single crochets in the first stitch and then 1 single crochet in the next, and I'm going to repeat that 5 times. Again, I'm making sure I'm working inside the stitch and not just around the loops, and as I was working, I was like, I'm kind of missing something, and then I realized I forgot to put my stitch marker, so don't be like me, make sure you put it at the beginning of your round. Eventually I realized, and if you were in a similar situation to me, this is where you would just go back and start counting, remembering, hey, I went 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, and working my way backwards, I found where I had started, so I went ahead and just added a piece of yarn for my stitch marker. You can also use a safety pin or whatever you like. I just find a piece of yarn is the most accessible. I finished that round, then put my stitch marker before I forgot, but I ended with 15 stitches. Round 4 is similar to round 3. We're going to do 2 single crochets in the first stitch, then 1 single crochet in the next, but this time instead of repeating it 5 times, we are going to repeat it 7 times. After repeating it 7 times, you should end with 22 stitches. For round 5, I remembered to put my stitch marker, but we are going to go in and do 2 single crochets in the first stitch and then 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. We're going to repeat that 7 times, but I want to point out that it's not super detrimental to these coasters if you miss a stitch here or there, and if you want to be accurate to the numbers that I'm saying, you can always do 2 single crochets in the last stitch if you're missing one, or do a decreasing stitch in the last one if you have one extra. But if you are following the pattern, you should have 29 total stitches at the end of round 5. To start round 6, I'm going to flip my stitch marker and then do 2 single crochets in the first stitch and then 3 single crochets in the next 3 stitches. I repeated that 8 times and ended with a total of 37 stitches. For round 7, I've added my stitch marker and then I'm going in with 2 single crochets in that first stitch and then 7 single crochets in the next 7 stitches, and I'm going to repeat that 4 times. And this is the part of the project where things are starting to take shape and the coaster is getting bigger and bigger with each round. So if you want to do smaller coasters, you can stop at any of these rounds and then just skip over to the final round. But if you want them to be bigger, I would follow the general pattern we've been doing so far. We've got 2 single crochets and then an amount of single crochets after that. So for round 7, we had 7. For round 8, I would do 8, and so on and so forth until you get to the size you'd like. I'm not exactly sure about how many rounds or repetitions you'd need to do for each of those rounds. However, following the general pattern and keeping your eye on the stitch marker and just going until you feel like it's the size you need generally worked for me. And then after that, just finishing the project with that final single crochet round. Now back to round 7, I've done the 2 single crochets and then 7 single crochets all around, and I have ended with a total of 41 stitches, and this is the size I want it to be, so now I'm moving on to the final round. Once you've got your coaster to the size you'd like, it's time to finish it off with the final round, which is just a single crochet in every single stitch. Because I am reusing this from a previous project, I was really worried I wasn't going to have enough yarn for this. As you can see, there's not that much there, but I'm going to work with what I've got. Ideally, I would have been able to finish the round. Unfortunately, there was not enough yarn for me to do that. However, I'm going to accept it as is, and then I'm going to finish the project. Regardless of the number of stitches you end up with, this is the way to finish the project for any of these coasters. Starting off with hiding the end, you're going to take it through not the first stitch to the left, but the second stitch, and then you're going to pull it back through the original stitch it came from. This will just help to hide the seam and kind of mush it together so it's kind of a little more continuous. After that, I'm going to weave the end through the back. I'm just going in through some random stitches and then pulling it through, and I'm just going to do that a few times to just secure it even more. If your end is a little bit longer, you can just do it a few times and then go ahead and cut it at wherever you'd like. But after it's completely hidden, I will then go in with a lighter and just melt the end so it doesn't fray. I'm going to follow a similar process for that original magic circle string. I'm going to pull it tight and then just weave it through a few of these random stitches. I did find that this string was a little bit longer, so I went ahead and just weaved it in a few times and then I just chopped it off. Again, because this rope does fray a bit, I am going to just melt it with a lighter, but with that, it is all complete. These are adorable coasters that handle heat really, really well, and you can make an arrangement of all of these sizes. You can see here I've got a smaller and a larger version, but they are beautiful on the table and I highly recommend making them.